Hi there, it's Trisha with Easy Emini Trade, and I wanted to go over a couple things that you can do during a fast-moving market. I know sometimes it can be difficult to get your orders in quick enough, but you have a couple options. You can sit it out, or you can drill up in size on the chart that you currently trade from. So I'll give you a couple ideas on what you can do for that. If you want more information about the setups that I do use, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. So we like to use range charts for our entries, and they've been going really fast. So typically, I'm just going to show you on the NQ, but it's the same for the ES, the Russell, the 6E, whatever you're trading. So we like a 1-point range chart, but it's been really fast. And so if you find it too fast, as I mentioned, you can either, just sit it out and wait until things quiet down a little bit, or you can drill up to a 1.5-point range chart, or a 2-point range chart, or a 2.5, 2, etc. You can keep moving up. The thing to remember is that if you use a chart that's larger in size, you may have to use a larger stop, so keep that in mind. So just to give you an example, you can see 952 on all of these. I hope you can. Let me just make those a little fatter so you can see them, just in case, because sometimes they don't show up in the video. Okay, so you can see 952 on all three of these charts. So here's an entry here at 952 on the 1 point. Here it shows up on the 1.5 as a pullback to the 30 weighted at 952. And here on the 2 point it shows as a pullback to the 9. So you have an entry on all three charts just showing up as a different type of entries. Like I said, MACD entry here, pullback entry here, and pullback entry here. And you can also use a 1-minute chart. You can use, if you're using your tick chart, just use a larger tick chart. The thing about the 1-minute chart that I wanted to show was right here. Let me just make this fat there so you can see it. This would have been setting up as a pullback to the 9 on the 1-minute chart at 9:49. So basically your entry would have been at approximately 9:50, so a little earlier than on the range chart. But this bar here is like 8 points in size. So if you're using a 2-point stop or a 3-point stop, and the size of this bar that gets you in is 8 points, if this retraces just the slightest little bit, it's going to stop you out. So let's just see here out of curiosity. The low of that bar is 2204.75. And so let's say that you put your order in, you put a sell stop under that bar at 2204.50, and you get filled at 25 or 4, or somewhere around that area. And you can see this bar here retraces all the way up to 8. So you would have been stopped out if you used a 2 or a 3-point stop. So that's the thing to remember if you're going to trade off a time-based chart when you have such a volatile market. Very important that you make sure that you allow the stop to be larger. The other thing that you can do is, typically we're able to enter in using a buy stop or sell stop because we have the range bar predictor, which will give us an idea of where our previous bar's high or low, or that current bar, high or low is going to be. So you can, when you see the order, the entry getting ready to set up, you can place your order in anticipation of that. But when it's moving really fast, that's very difficult to do. So if you have a specific area, let's say under this bar is where you want to get in, and it's moving really quickly, I mean, you could just put, instead of a sell stop under that bar right there, and this moved really fast, I'm just using this as an example, but instead of putting a sell stop under there, you can put a limit order under there. And if you use a limit order, what you'd be waiting for is price to trade back up to that to trigger. In a fast-moving market, you run the risk that it won't trade back up to that and trigger, like on the next couple bars. But if you can't get a buy stop or sell stop in, you can certainly use a market order. But when it's moving that fast and you use a market order, you have to expect big slippage. So like if you're thinking you're going to get in up here, you realistically aren't going to get in until, down here somewhere. So just be aware of that as well. And like I said, if it's too much for you, then just sit it out, because it will quiet down eventually. Okay, so I hope that helps. And like I said, if you want to check out the setups and get more information on them, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. Thanks, and you guys have a great day.